Welcome, Captain Bringdown here. This is number 9 in the video titled Karma and Man, involving the mystery of Grand Theft Auto 5. If you're new here, I would at least go back to video 4 in the series to understand the context and what I'm talking about. I discovered the true meaning of manifest generosity and decided we weren't going to give you the answer outright. Now I know hearing that must be killing some of you, but trust me guys, make it to the end of this and there'll be a prize waiting for you at the end.
I have the foresight and fortitude to
See, but the majority of you are here because you like the way I express the mystery. Trying to give you another avenue to understand it. So I will give you the true meaning of balance.
Spiritual and psychological enhancement. Let us prepare now for a phenomenal evening!
See, the true meaning of balance is actually based off of an alchemical formula in which Rockstar created to teach you the true meaning of transmutation, and how this is based off of esoteric knowledge. To be given a certain type of energy and to change it into something else. Understanding the chakras and the colors will represent the main protagonists in the game. Taking this negative energy that is part of the game, but turning it into something else. This is the true meaning of balance. Is the key to understanding what it takes to open up the brown door that's hidden in the game. The one thing I want to express to a lot of you is that you're searching the wrong way. You're supposed to be looking in the single player. You're supposed to be doing it in an intrinsical way. This was supposed to be found out in the way in which, as you were playing the game, it's being discovered. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep cataloging away all of the details and the little minute things that matter. But you need to understand that what matters the most is what you were finding correlates to the real mystery in the game of Grand Theft Auto 5. Is pay attention to the four corners of this castle here. The world that is significant. Once you understand the real truth of what the mystery is actually about, you will start to see the golden trail. What makes this more unique than anything else in the map. What the arrow is actually pointing to, the esoteric knowledge helped us, and that was the point. We weren't setting out to discover the mystery of Grand Theft Auto 5. We had created our own mystery based off of what was actually there, and in return started to see the true message that was being displayed by Rockstar. And when you understand this, you'll start to see why we believe what we believe. But this is about a spirit and about man, about his place in time. Throwing a pearl of wisdom to one of our new initiates and trying to show them something. They didn't understand the true significance of it and thought it insignificant. But the true meaning is, why is it there? If it's created by Rockstar trying to give you a message, did you receive the message that you were supposed to receive? So we came at this with our own esoteric knowledge involving the ancient mysteries and set out to solve what was Rockstar's symbolic meaning of their symbolic representation. That is the true key of every mystery school, is to understand the symbols. That's what made us special. So our goal was all about the mystery itself, the question. And when you realize what this means, but unfortunately they were deemed unsavable and left our group. But they are, according to what they said, they are the ones trapped in the labyrinth. And that's really the big deal here, is that, do you see what we are showing you? I'm giving you truths and half-truths. I mean, there's a reason for this, because it's something that you're supposed to figure out on yourself. But a lot of you have been here waiting, wishing that somebody would give you some kind of sign, some kind of clue. So my goal was to show you what we knew and the avenue in which nobody has been talking about, to show you the true path in which we should all be going in. You just don't know the true meaning of the signs in which Rockstar is actually telling you. And exactly, we've all been here for a long time, guys. And it's about time somebody's exposed the truth of what's really going on here. But now, do you know what's true? What you're supposed to be paying attention to? How do you know?
How do you know?
How do I know? How do I know?
It's the point that we're here to teach you, so you will know for yourself it to be true. When the truth is revealed to you personally, you will understand our symbols. But you must understand this is Greek, the core. We are giving you light, bringing you out of darkness. But even if you do have the eyes to see it and start to follow this path, what does it mean? Just because you see something that nobody else sees, can you interpret what you are seeing? What is the true meaning behind the symbols? Can you figure it out? What you need to know is these four right here. This is what the mystery is based around. This is a 3-part mystery that leads to a 4th thing. This is the answer to every part of the mystery. You have to understand what the tree is, what the eagle is, and what this means. There are 3 parts of this. There is the maze, the labyrinth. This is where a lot of people are getting lost, and this is actually the key to the labyrinth. This is the labyrinth. What each of those little lines and squares actually means. There is a key that a lot of people don't know exists. There's 2 of them. This is the whole point and balance. Okay? Now when you figure all this out, the 2 angels in this game, the dragon that must be slayed by the arrows to the heart, but realize this is a metaphorical dragon. It's not a literal dragon. It is the metaphorical dragon that Saint Michael slays. But this image right here, it really is defended by a wizard, and there's a reason why his sword is small, guys. But these are 2 kings that must ascend in order to go through the round door. This is the Holy Grail that you should be looking for. What is this thing you speak? This upwards generosity is the most precious thing, the giving of those who do not need, so cannot be challenged for greed, who have so much they do not need any more, therefore can receive your gift kindly, and with the truth form and with understanding, this is everything. Those who think there was nothing to see there missed the message. But let's get back to the maze, what this is. Okay, so everybody, this is a moving maze. Okay, and what they mean by that is as you're moving around in the game, this is getting more and more complex as to where you're supposed to go. This is referenced at the courts, but you must be balanced before you engage into the next steps. And this is where everyone's getting confused. Rockstar refers to this as 2 red squares. Okay, when you realize this, the squares and the pyramids start to make sense. But the name of this maze is known as the Quartz Crystal Maze. Notice that and this is also referenced in the maze bank. Notice it is 2 interlocking E's. That's very important. Okay, but it has to be done. And what is this red cube? This is the lotus. This is the Merkaba. The 6-pointed star esoterically is a cube on its side. But see, everybody knows that the red lines is the Chiliad mural. It's the black lines. It's the unseen hand. See, everybody was worried about the marks against them. They didn't know about the other missions that don't mark against you. The reason why they're there, the reason why you're supposed to be doing those is because that is what true balance is you're taking the energy that is the game itself. See, people were missing that this was the key to the maze. Okay? As you look closely, it's a giant key, guys, pointing to, oh look, that's an interesting shape. Reminds me a lot of Legion Square. Now, in order for you to truly understand what balance means, you must understand what the labyrinth is and what's going on here. Why is lightning important? In what context is this to the ascension of the Ascended One in this game, who has to go through these certain steps in order to be there? Well, see, this all goes back into the pattern or the days in which you're supposed to be doing things. For instance, when Trevor goes to the Lost, he brings forth lightning. When Michael fights, which the symbol for the Lost is an eagle, and when Michael fights Merryweather, whose symbol is an eagle, he also brings forth lightning. See, I had gotten the interpretation wrong when I told you last time. It is in fact Michael and Trevor that are both the eagles, the apple that can turn into the eagle, and they are the ones who must be balanced in together. They are the Zeuses at this moment. But in other times, Michael is Poseidon, and other times Trevor is Mars. But again, what am I talking about? What does this mean? So how Rockstar decided to give you a clue, and this has to do with the time in which it's supposed to be done. It must be done within a certain amount of time, within 3 cycles of the full moon, in order to open the door. But instead of going crazy trying to figure out the moon cycles, they give you a little key on how to tell what you're supposed to be doing in accordance to the days. But what I mean by this is that these are the days in which you should be doing certain missions. So pay attention for a moment here. This goes back to the alchemical balance.
You gone. Man, 10 years in the sun? Your brain is melted. You say words that have no meaning. What is balance, huh? Huh? Did I fucking kill only on the weekends?
So you'll notice that when certain missions happen to fall on Saturdays and
Monday, Wednesdays,
Sundays,
and Fridays, I'm doing yoga and meditation.
You'll also notice that when certain things are introduced into the game, they happen on certain days. This is because if you're playing the game right, you're going to notice these days fall on it. Notice that Mars and Jupiter are the 2 things that are missing from the pattern.
Compared to you, I'm the
this is the way how you can tell in accordance with the moon cycles where you are supposed to be. What I mean by that is when you're going through the missions on the right days and the right times, you'll start to notice how the moon seems to be lined up with you and everything that you're doing, even the phases. This is also with the sun as well. But you gotta understand which phases are important. That center moon there, the one that's floating, this is the 2 circles that are interlocking. This is known as the hanging moon phase. That is when everything must be done. But let's continue on about the maze, shall we? See, the clue here is in the Greek context, the true meaning of the clue that was used by Theseus in the Minotaur's labyrinth. Where did the Minotaur come from? Remember, this is a Poseidon reference. He rules over here. Once you realize that the clue given to him was a golden clue, this is the golden trail. Guys, once you see it, it's hard to not see it. Notice how the golden line moves on to this person here. And this is why I said every clue in the game tells us that it's Franklin who actually is going to get to the heart of the game, the Earth Door. Which makes sense also, which I'll explain later why it's the golden peyote and Franklin. Because we look at to one of the big keys in the game, Barry, is that Michael and Trevor are both being mentally and psychologically and spiritually judged, whereas Franklin, being the initiate, he is not judged in the same way. He is the one that is connected more to the earth, and like I said, the feminine principle, which is why it's Friday, Franklin, Venus. By his grace, he is exempted from the same judgment as Michael and Trevor. And Franklin's the one who gets to the heart of the game, or the earth, my mother. But I want you to notice this is a part in the mural in which the line ends, but they continue forth going in through the golden door, giving you a little clue there. Is on the mural. But the problem with a lot of people are going to get lost here is that you can start these games or start these missions anytime you like. So understanding that's why it is a puzzle. You must put together where you're supposed to be doing each line at which time. Okay? But that's not the full story. But now let's talk why people are getting lost in the labyrinth. Because the golden path is always there. So you can hit this path anytime you wish. Listen, it says the exit's out here at the end of this trail. There's a variant. Look how where the moon is, guys. I did not plan that. I'm just where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to actually be there. But did you see the S at the end of this mission? Did you see the clue? You were supposed to see the S in the background when the mission started. See, once you start to see the golden trail, it's everywhere. But the most important part is, when are you seeing this? Right? So once you start to follow this trail, it's easy to catalog what's going on. You follow it. It's like a straight line. This is the path in which you're supposed to be following. But now let's talk about where everyone's getting lost, when there is no golden trail, the hidden hand. See, throughout the game, there are certain choices that you can make by doing strangers' missions that bring you to certain places at certain times. These are the hidden arrows that are essential for balance. This goes back to the symbol of balance again, because certain missions you're forced to kill people, but other missions you're forced to help people, guys. But why is it Osiris Dionysus? That's because it's the shattering consciousness. It's about breaking free of the actual stigma of the game. The track is written. It's up to you to make the right choices to cancel out the negative effects of what they are doing. And again, we see this in Red Dead Redemption 2. It kills me to hear that there are those who are looking for the answers who have never played Red Dead Redemption 2, guys. If you compare the stories to that of Grand Theft Auto 5, you can see that they are pointing you in the direction you need to go. But that which was hinted in Grand Theft Auto 5 has been solidified or perfected in Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, here again we see how we're supposed to balance these two characters, the twins, the Greek twins, Acrisius and Proteus.
Can you help?
Which again,
maybe
showing the Greek significance of the mysteries, but you must see them in the context of Trevor and Michael and trying to impress the woman with the green emerald. Other gallantry, just like a knight. Pay attention to the way Proteus moves.
Shoot a bottle off my head. That's like William Tell.
This is getting silly.
Very silly. The man is a moron.
Shoot one off mine instead.
I'm the brave one.
I'm not scared.
I'm a good shot, but
I won't even flinch.
I don't want to hurt you, boys.
Oh, I can't
Look
lose.
at those hit
Either I'll prove my masculinity or die and be spared his company. Come,
Even
sir,
the way he
please.
talks.
Okay, then.
I am not lying when I say this. We discovered that you must balance Trevor and Michael together because they are in fact affecting each other. I will prove this later. They are the same person, two kings that must ascend. Whatever Trevor does, Michael must do. This is the truth about that. There is a very good reason and why Michael must walk 5 miles in the desert. Because if you had played the game correctly as the other person, then you too would have traveled 5 miles in the desert. This is the riddle behind the wolf and the rabbit, and the true meaning of what you have to do to combine the 8 and the 6 to solve the riddle of the 6886. But let's go on. Now let's talk about the myth of who Acrisius really is. He is the grandfather of Perseus. You see, the father heard by an oracle that she would, become taken over his kingdom. So he locked her away into a bronze tower, where Zeus actually impregnated her with a golden shower. Yeah, guys. The same way the Wiz or the Penrith Tower and the music and things impregnate us with radio waves. That's why I said it's hilarious when you start to realize the truth of what's really going on here.
That was fun.
What was? I feel like we didn't even do anything.
Oh, of course you didn't. We all know you're hardly sentient at all.
Another round, smaller bottles, sir. Please.
What?
I don't know.
Please. This creature is unbearable. He needs silencing.
I'll do my best. As long as she witnesses that I'm doing this under
Oh,
duress.
you boys are so silly.
I remember Acrisius' twin brother was Proteus. Well, in the myth of Proteus, he's the one who actually is turned by stone by Medusa's head in the myth when Perseus returns. I'm not joking when I say that everything in this game is based on the Greek myths, guys.
Now I'll stand on one leg. Me too.
Remember, it's a balance of both of them, Trevor and Michael.
From the swamps.
Silence, you blackguard, sir. Shoot the
Listen
wretch.
closely and you will hear who they really
You're
are.
deranged. Shoot away,
You're
sir. My bottle and
deranged.
his brains. If you
Just like the psychiatrist tells Michael.
Sir, and
Wait till you hear him talk about the lizardmen. Just like Trevor.
Now do one while I hop.
Do one while I turn somersaults! Shoot me!
Oh, give me the gun. Let me shoot.
Okay.
For all mankind.
I think me and the lady have had enough.
Oh, I don't blame you, sir. This man's tongue, I would run too if I could. Here, for your skills and talents.
Thank you.
Now, brother, I am going to walk
Helen, is this creep bothering you?
You two, come
Oh,
along.
no, there aren't two. There's me and the lizard man. Please, my angel, do not aggregate us both together.
Boys, you are too much. Hi,
No, my sweet.
See, Rockstar depicted Michael and Trevor as the knights in this game that must be crowned kings. They will split the kingdom, but only if they go through their rite of passages correctly. That's the big deal here.
This ain't new age shit, it's fact. You get what you give, fool.
Let's talk about the true meaning of balance here
this
now.
is yours.
Michael and Trevor are the ones who are supposed to be doing those.
Shrink says I have a hero complex.
Franklin, he says it does nothing for his karma, and he's a hypocrite. This is because he, again, is exempt from balance. But let's talk about Michael in the easiest way to balance him, and that is what yoga is. So the whole point in this, if you listen to what they are saying, is that he is taking the hostility and the aggression and the things that he is given, and then he is transmuting it to a more balanced energy. Sorry, the best way to describe it. But I want you to really pay attention here. Notice how everything I'm getting is positive. Okay, of course, they still say the same things because the tract is written. But I want you to pay attention. See, most of you I don't think are doing yoga correctly. You're actually supposed to be holding your breath for at least 3 seconds. Listen. They tell you when to exhale. There it is. You do this because you're not going to have this guide when you're doing it by yourself. So you have to learn that you actually have to do it correctly. Don't just do the buttons. Do it right. I hold the breath after a full circle there. Now, 3 seconds. See, she tells you when. So what I was actually doing in the game to prove this was I went through all the things with Michael to try to make, like, I actually didn't commit a single crime with Michael all the way up to where he had to steal the gas for the jewelry store. I had him at 0, and I kept getting the same response at the Psychiatrist, where yes, it was good, but it wasn't good enough, and we'll talk about this in just a sec. But okay, this is the part I wanted you to actually hear. Put the lunar to the face. This again goes by Michael and him in the moon. Why he's at Mount Gordo at certain times. So remember, make sure to do it after the 3 seconds, because when you do it by yourself, you have to do it right. Your inner eye. Like I said, they guide you if you're doing it wrong or if you're doing it right. But look, I'm going to do it wrong here for just a moment. I want you to hear. Listen. Breathe out, please.
Can you wash that mat later?
See? Negative. So let that be your actual guide when you're first trying to figure this out. Okay, but what I was trying to say before, so I even tried following street signs and stuff like that, but the main thing was it wasn't fun. And that's the key here. Like Dr. Ray D'Angelo says, you're supposed to be enjoying all of it. Sometimes he's a warrior and a passionate lover at the same time. That's when I started to realize what the true meaning of balance was. This goes back to the secret missions that also have golden clues on them. And going back to, like I said, the true meaning of balance is that you're supposed to be doing these things that are near you at certain times at the end of certain missions as a way of transmutation. But even when you do them, you must remember, they're telling you a message. Pay attention. This is about the fair way. But again, everything that comes out gives us clues. Like, for instance, here, Trevor's heist. Notice the pumpkin. Did you notice the pumpkin correlated with Proteus? Well, did you? But anyway, here we see him at the end of the heist. He's playing with two dolls of impotent rage, which are supposed to be representation of him and Michael. But we also think is interesting is that of all the heists to choose for Rockstar to present in their PS5 trailer, they showed this one. He jumps at the lighthouse into the water. He manages to escape and live. And he also ends with him smashing his head against a tree, crying to impotent rage. But look at the number here, 404. Like, everything about this was about balance. This is why his shirt shows a symbol of balance with the skulls. Why he's nice, and then he's mean. Because he's showing you both. This was the point, because this is when Trevor leaves. He's supposed to be balanced. But let's look to Red Dead Redemption 2. This is where we actually find King Arthur. A shout out to Chiliad Kevin there, who we call Merlin because Merlin's the one who predicted the coming of King Arthur. But this is where you're supposed to be, in the gray. It's not about the extremes of the bad and good. It's about the balanced way. This is something we see in the missions too. The fact that you have the choice to do both. That's the point. Because they give you plenty of times to be good. But if there's anything we can say about Rockstar Game, is that they trained you to be an efficient killing machine. Because at the end of the day, we're all just a bunch of murdering liars and crooks. Because that's what the game is actually about. So being able to maintain balance was a big deal.
You made it clear what kind of a fella you are. I don't judge you for it. As long as you do all I ask of you, what you do elsewhere don't bother me or my mistress one jot. But good, bad, or indifferent, you gotta make yourself a living.
Notice he gave you a third option, indifferent.
I'll see you soon.
But that was the point in the Dark Man in Red Dead Redemption and Mr. Jones.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Jones could help.
You can change your karma anytime willingly in this game, just like you can in Grand Theft Auto 5. That was the whole point of karma being a chameleon.
You're a genius, you moron. Come on, come here. Don't you ever not tell me things I want to know.
This is why some must die and some must be saved, and you got to make the right choice. This is the clues. But let's now talk about either though you're on the right track, you have decisions to make here in these heists. Listen how everything about this ending is negative. Everybody's mad at T. He's a failure. And notice we see only one yellow sub, a yellow can, and this kind of epsilon blue. So that some might think that this is the right way to go. But this is bad. This is an imbalanced, angry Trevor. Everyone's mad at him. Now let's look at the other option. So you might take it as, oh, that's it, that's the clue. But look at this one. Where all of a sudden he's the king. It's a success.
Say whatever you want about Trevor, but shit, he got it done. Yep, let's hope so. Hold on, man. A super weapon? The Chinese? What? What you think is in there?
And look, and he emasculated Epsilon Blue
All right, man. So what now?
with his butt showing.
Maybe I can organize to have it taken back and found amongst the wreckage.
Lester.
Holy fuck, Lester Crest. Holding on and looking good, huh?
Do you have any idea what you did here?
Yeah.
See? He's in charge.
What, are you jealous because you didn't get your 20%?
Trevor.
Everyone's listening to Trevor.
Great. Then you and the patient can take it all back.
See, the other one, he is completely unstable. But here, he's a king. People are listening to him.
You owe me, Michael.
This is something you had to be paying attention to. How in the heist, some of the dialogues, the characters are trying to change. The other ones, they're just fine the way they are, or they are who they are. That is one of the things that you have to look at all the gold in this one, guys. One of the things you have to use as your basis of where's the right way to go. But here's something else that we also notice.
I'm good, homie.
So this is Fame or Shame. This is when Trevor is, after Friends United, is introduced back into Michael.
Yeah, you're a model husband and a
I want you to hear how negative this conversation is.
You walk into my home and try to tell me how to run my life. It don't work like that, amigo. It's nice to see you and all, but you stink like piss.
He also gives you a big clue right here.
Look like you've been up for what? A week?
Because that means you should have taken a whole week when you were Trevor. Before he's reintroduced with Michael. There's clues like that, guys, you have to be listening to. Notice he calls him a snake. Not gonna abandon her like you abandoned me. Me and Brad. Notice he talks about Brad.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd ask you to stay, but...
Yeah, don't worry, alright? I got somewhere to crash while we work things out.
With my actual friends. See? Not Michael.
Yes, sirree. Hurry it up, bro.
You hear how pissed he was? Now listen to this dialogue.
Packed with nutrients, fibers, vitamins, and it don't taste bad. I'll send you the recipe. Anyway, get this. I'm making it. The blender slips, juice goes everywhere.
See, but in the actual clip, he's making a bottle of whiskey, no matter what, because the tract is written. But it's these things that you can actually change.
Ask for a blow-by-blow of how you lost your last ounce of masculine pride.
We're gonna see some examples of balance here. Watch.
What you've been doing for a decade.
Easy, T.
Don't T me.
Hey, if anyone needs kale, my friend.
I'm beyond pale. Okay? It's too late for tail and its magical powers to have any effect on me.
Fine.
Notice he says that by the Perseus building to our right.
I'm a crank. Cannibalism.
Now we're passing
You two chilled out
the
to
mystery
say my
building to
name,
the
you
left.
Fat slob. You two relax and you laid back.
You have to also
little
notice that when they
Santos
mention certain things in the dialogue,
is one
what's in the
letter all
environment.
You can bring yourself to wrap your slothful
We're on
lips
Ginger
around.
Street.
Whoa, dude. You
Here we go.
not let the fuck up.
I got
See, Michael
years worth
didn't
of
explode.
to do. The let up, my friend, is a long way off.
But now we see hostility from Trevor. So now he reciprocates with hostility.
I wanna
But
save your
look,
daughter
Trevor
from making an ass of herself.
calmly
Really?
responds.
Man? Really? What
He-
is it? Money or a fight? What? What do you come here looking for?
I came looking for you. And I
You see how he just controlled himself
Yes,
right
you
there?
did.
This is what
I
I'm
know
talking
who you
about.
are.
Different
Like
dialogues.
Cowley.
They're trying to better themselves. Other dialogues, they're not. This was a key that we noticed.
Yeah, sure, okay, whatever.
Now I know some of you are going to argue that those are random, but we were going a certain path that we were getting all the good ones in a line. Now let's talk about one of the sacrifices that must be made, like Odin sacrificed his right eye for wisdom. Just like when Franklin finally gets the true story about what happened in North Yankton, he noticed the T falling through the chasm after the rupture guy. And here we see the raven, the symbol of Odin. In case you missed it, they show it again. See, there's a hidden path here, guys. And this is what I've been trying to talk about for a long time. If you know the esoteric symbols, the ego that must fall, the man trapped in the tree. But let's look at the hidden path here again. The dog, which is a symbol for Mercury or Hermes, the one who can see the hidden path.
What's that? You said a man is stuck in a tree. And he needs my help? Okay, shit, show me.
See, guys, in the Chiliad mural, it's not a jetpack. It's actually a falling man, a man's parachute being opened. This is Arthur's Pass. Here as well, Golden Trail.
Look at this fool.
He is one of the egos that must die. He is one of the falling men. Yes, there are more than one. See, notice the golden is trim, and notice the crevice.
Dog you got, homie.
What dog?
That dog.
Also going to see him associated with Sisyphus Theater.
Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Now remember, this is the physical way in which Franklin ascends.
When you got a moment.
This is so he actually is doing it this way, while Michael and Trevor are doing it the other way. Look, Sisyphus Theater. But listen.
See, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I'm a control junkie.
Yeah, that parachuting is intense, man.
And hey, if along the way I figure out what it means to be alive, Well then, let's just make this a little spiritual and say I'm on a thought journey.
Shit, nothing helps me think clearly like shitting myself while I'm heading towards a certain death, man.
Then you're up for it.
Oh man, I could hear myself screaming.
When you realize this, you realize everything he's talking about is referring to the mysteries. Listen again.
Everything, and it all made sense. You know what I mean? Like everything. Shit, man, until your crazy ass hit that tree. Dude, did I choose the tree?
He's the man stuck on the Chiliad tree. What you call the jetpack.
No, but seriously, I got you. Don't sweat it. It's not rocket science, although it is in some ways. But I'm talking metaphorically, like you with that dog. I didn't get that, by the way. Wait, hold on, man. So you telling me you had no memory of a fucking dog?
Notice too that we also started on Arthur's Path in Vinewood, and we are going all the way to Mount Chiliad, like the double helix, all the way up to the highest point in the game.
Okay, no more talking. We gotta get our mind.
And remember, Michael's the one who's going to go through the earth door or through the vesica, the womb, and listen to what he says when he's on top of Mount Chiliad, guys. Him against nature, just like I've been saying. He's the falling man. Parachute jumping, opening. Docking on the summit, legs are open, slam it home.
I don't care what you say. Shut your mouth. Shut it. Shut. Just keep it shut. You know full well exactly what you didn't say.
But what I was saying is there is more than one ego that must be slayed. That's why you're exercising demons, guys. Look at the symbols in which this guy represents. He says nothing, but says so much.
Everything. Well, fuck you. And I don't care that we just met last week. All right? Just stop looking at me. Don't look at me. Say something. Oh, I wish you were dead. I really do.
So these are the egos in which you must overcome. These are the people who need to be slain. These are the egos that must die. Again, this goes back to balance, but there is other egos in which you must slay. It is your own ego. But again, like I said from the beginning, I'm not going to tell you the answer.
You are completely have no control of your emotions. We have nothing in common.
Did you also notice that Trevor's tattoo of the eye matches where he is on the chakra tree? Did you see the egos that must be killed? The red, black, and white, the symbol of balance. But let's now talk about judgment.
I don't know. I want something that isn't this. You know, this caring about two things at once. I mean, I want to be a good dad, love my family, you know, live the dream. But at the same time, I really want the other stuff too.
So the narrative is about changing Michael to a better person. This is something I've been emphasizing from the beginning. Because he is the one who is actually being judged by the psychiatrist, and in the end of the game, is being judged. We can see that the choices that you made with either character is being affected by Michael himself.
Well, no, I mean, you know, not really, but that's not the point. I mean, I want it to. That is the point.
To my true followers, count how many times you see the symbols here in these clips.
I guess we've been having these conversations
But to start you on the right path, this is the one you want to start with. Because again, the end result is the doctor is listening to him, but is also giving him something that Michael is reflecting on.
Explain your decisions, Michael. Take responsibility. So,
now everything's out of control.
Whereas the other times you come after certain missions, you will see that all the responses are negative.
That sounds a lot like denial, Michael. This is really worrying. Michael.
I think you'll call this a bad realization.
But it's the second one, or third, as you might say, depending on the phone, that listen to the different dialogues in which changes. This is after Fame and Shame. See, if he goes to the bureau first, we hear this. Now I've cut it to for brevity of time.
I tried to kill a yoga teacher.
You're giving me facts. You're not telling me how you feel.
Again, this is bad,
about
guys.
your emotional health,
See,
Michael.
as soon as the doctor comes up, you're supposed to go see him. Again, when trying to figure out balance, I kept finding different dialogues depending on what I was doing, which again, most of you would say is random.
You know? And I made a mistake. A monumental mistake. A series of monumental mistakes. The house, stock market scam, jewelry store.
Notice too, the doctor rarely cares on what he has to say.
No choice. These are things you tell yourself to justify your behaviors.
See? All bad. So again, depending on what time you get there, changes everything. This is the one you want, though.
Where do I start?
Again, he's being honest. This is about
Going back
change.
into the business. That business? I gotta be honest with you, Doc. I mean, why am I paying you all this money if not to be honest? For once. It felt good.
Again, this goes back to that we were aligning all the positive dialogues in succession to get to a balanced him.
Problem is,
But what's interesting about this, about these certain times in which you go to these things or trigger things, is that it changes the dialogue to where, notice how the doctor is actually listening to him, and he's being honest, and the doctor actually helps him. Now let's get into also the different choices that people thought were random.
Honesty's an obstacle for you, Michael. Have you considered that transparency might be less painful than obfuscation? Anything else you want to tell me?
So that was the first part that you need to make him sound good. Now here's the second part that everybody thinks is random, but this is a direct example of your balance level in the game.
Personality is the least of your problems. You're deranged.
You're deranged.
So,
have I heard that before?
Any other violent urges, friend?
yeah,
See, and as we were going through, I was changing it, but I didn't know how I was changing it. This was the biggest thing. And I've never had gotten a positive response here. So we knew this was the actual key.
Michael. I'm doing all I can, but we need more sessions.
Because if we can see, now this is again is a prime example of it can't be random, guys. Because if you kill somebody, he literally says that he kills somebody. It means that your actions are changing things here.
And you know what? I don't care. I'm sick, Doc. I'm a sick, hypocritical fuck.
I agree. Which is why you should really bulk buy a batch of sessions.
Things have really been up and down, Doc.
Up and down.
1 minute.
See, when I was starting to get the balance, I started getting this one.
Red mist descends. I can't seem to help myself.
These are the classic symptoms of your condition, Michael. You're very ill.
So I knew something was going on. But this is the good one you're supposed to get first. And I do mean first. These change as the succession goes on.
Boy, Doc. I mean, you know, things just all of a sudden get up on top and right fucking on top. And then I lose my shit. And
I hurt people and I feel bad about it.
Then I feel bad about it. I'm a fucking prick.
Remorse is good.
But not as good as taking control before you act out.
Because remember, this is about him acting out, acts of actual aggression. Now again, the fact that people think that's random is ludicrous, guys. Because when we see the succession change from from negative to positive,
Not acting on them is
getting better all the way to the end of the game if you don't engage in prostitution or any sexual malfunction.
I'm glad to hear that. Really glad. Keep working it.
See, it's
What about
getting
sex,
better.
Michael?
I'm doing well, Doc, in that regard. Nothing to report, not one single thing.
That's great, Michael. It's real
Treatment
progress.
works when you
See?
try.
Treatment works when you try.
So, hey, you know, as you can see, I'm kind of doing better. You know, not perfect, mind you, but better.
Sexual?
Well, you know.
See, and this is the ending, the one you're supposed to actually
I'm
get.
making real progress, Doc.
We are making progress, Michael. You're finally listening to me. Great.
So, I feel like there's progress in some areas and... You know,
Now, the
not
reason
enough.
why he says this is because I wasn't balanced in
Anything
the
else?
second one I was telling you.
Anything sexual?
But see, this is what made it weird.
I made a few
Because
mistakes.
I made a mistake.
Pretty bad.
This is what happens when you actually
Last few
engage in
days,
prostitution. It's
a
still
lot
wrong.
better.
And you kind of change.
Well, I suppose you seeing the problems you cause is progress of a
So
sort.
again, what
So, I
your
feel like
actions
there's
are
progress in
doing is
some areas.
changing this dialogue. But see, no one's ever actually heard a balanced Michael. So I'm about to show you something that you can't find anywhere else, and what a balanced Michael actually sounds like. This was the key to the maze. When we finally cracked the code of what balance was,
Honesty's an
I
obstacle
changed the
for you,
dialogue,
Michael.
guys.
Have
Listen
you
to this.
considered that transparency might be less painful than obfuscation? Anything else you want to tell me?
I happen to feel I'm making real progress, Doc. No major acting out. Well, not too much. I had a freak out or two, but hey, I'm feeling better.
Remember, Michael, denial
So
is
after the
only
first one,
relapse.
this is the second one you want to
You're not a
actually
well
get.
man.
But when I got to the end, he wasn't
don't like
balanced.
myself very
And we
much,
couldn't
Doc.
figure out why. Where did I go wrong when I knew the actual truth? And this was the secret in Dr. Ray D'Angelo's book. When one becomes two, problems can arise. Because it was easy to balance Michael when he was alone, because Franklin didn't matter. It was easy to balance Trevor when he was alone in the desert, because I didn't have Michael to worry about. But when I got them back together again after being balanced, that's when I figured out that's what I did wrong. So now I have to go back and do it again. But this time balance both of them, because they are the same person. They are affecting each other karmically. Because it was Trevor who went to Ursula to make lightning, and that was wrong. It affected him. That's also when I also discovered another way to create lightning without going to the women. Do you see with the balance, the bell, the tower? Like, this is all a message. And that was the whole point, is that you have to look at this in the sense of what are they trying to tell you. But now it's time for the prize, the red square that I promised all of you. I explained before that the one at Quartz is in fact the mural and the path, but the other one at Maze is two interlocking E's. Now this was the huge key over at Legion Square that nobody saw, the two red squares. Now what are the E's? One is the Epsilon program, and the other one is Barry. You see, even when doing Barry's mission, you will see that in the end, Michael and Trevor are both a representation of the red square together. This is also the true meaning of the hero between the two C's, the two seers. It is you that is between them both. This is why even in our first player view, it looks like a shell. This is the shells. These are the two egos that we are stuck between. Okay, this is, again, you see it as a representation there as a key. They're literally crowned here. This is why it must be done at the end. You can see that Barry is the other one, and there's 3 steps, guys, going to a door. This is the Epsilon metal that turns purple on the mantle. But when you see the golden path is when does it matter most, is when it is first revealed to you. Things will change depending on the light and color, like there, purple and gold. But understand, where are you standing to see those 3 moons? Guys, you got to understand, what is this beam me up Uranus really about? This is, what is this round door? Now, I can tell you what the one is, and that is the satellite. And you can probably guess what the other one is. And this is why it looks like a castle tower. What these colors represent as far as the ascension of those characters. When you understand this, what really needs to happen? You must be red in order to go through that door, by the way. But those lights must be on. This is all part of the same thing, of the moon cycles. The 3 places you must be standing during that's a phase line, guys. But is it the moon? Is it the sun? Where are you supposed to be standing? What's the pattern that we must know that is the most important? The symbols, the 3 crosses, guys, transcend it, going up. Why it is the eye in the pyramid. This is the ascended one. The Perseus, the hero with the blue sash and the castle. The 3 steps you see as he is being given by the questing beast. What he must transform in order for it to turn purple. There are many doors that he must go through, but you must be there at the right time. What did you think that face in the head means? Why is it the psychiatrist's office? See, you must look at the map. You must look at everything is built around the mystery here. If you're playing the game exactly the way they are guiding it for you, you will create these patterns. Look at the symbols, the lightning bolt. Where have you seen that before? What does it mean? What is the metaphor? What's the joke? Who's the phoenix that must be on top of this castle? Huh, where's the castle? And see, so our goal was to try to give you the question, to understand it. But our main goal was always to understand what balance really was. We wanted to get everybody on the same page, because if we're all on the same page, and we start to see now that you look at this, you see the doors, you see the vesica, or the womb that must we go through, the White Castle. It's like, when you start to put this all together, it starts to make sense. So that was our goal, was we had embraced the question itself, and from there we found answers. We try to throw away our preconceived notions. Why he's holding an Uzi and a hammer of righteousness. Why it's that particular funny phase in the moon. What's with the squares? Remember, Jay thinks he is a god. You see it going through the pyramid and through the things that look like a Legion Square. But you must balance the Epsilon program between the full golden path. That's another big deal. It must be between the two red squares in order for it to be combined. But golden tracks are very important, as you can see right there as well. And again, lightning is a big deal. And this is something we also see here. And this is actually a nod to what manifest generosity really is, about giving it away. Because that's what you're actually doing here. You are paying this guy, giving away tons and tons and tons of money in order to get to the truth. When you understand this, guys, this is one of the egos that must be killed, the dragon that must be slayed. But remember everything that I've taught you. The whole point in all this was to make you see the message. Why is he sniping this guy, guys, across from the Bell building? Why is he hitting the destruction of these rings I keep talking about? Most importantly, guys, where are you? Where are you standing? This is the only way to escape. But now, Hierophants, go forth. You are now truly one of us, the Ascended.
Majestic! Have you ever seen such a thing? I'm all a quiver, I can tell you. I bring you the most incredible singer of serpents this side of the swamp.
Rockstar did say I had a silver tongue.
Pleasure entertaining you this evening. Each day is one less until our last. Distraction is our greatest joy. Good night. Until next time.
Remember, guys, if it's too complicated, it's not the answer. It's right in front of your face. You're supposed to have found it while you were playing the game. You're supposed to be having fun. Captain Bring Down out. Till next time. Bye.